He's been there for almost 2 decades now. He now serves as Associate Athletic Director for Internal Operations, oversees the ticket office, supervises facilities, media relations, among many duties, and he's done a great job in every capacity for the Green Wave during the course of his tenure. Please give a warm welcome to Vince Granito. Vince?
Thank you. It's always good to come to this quarterbacks club. Good to see everybody again. And I do want to say, JT, congratulations on 500. And it's so great to have somebody like JT in our community. We've known each other for a long period of time, and to have a coach of his quality in our community is really something special for us. I know we want to talk about football, and before I do that, I do want to give a couple plugs to a couple of our other programs. So it'll be a little bit more well-rounded here in the next couple of weeks, guys and gals. Our basketball team is 7-0. They've got off to a great start, and they are going to play Georgia Tech at home next Saturday at 1 o'clock. So if you have an interest in college basketball, we've got a new coach and a good team. Come over to Fogelman on Saturday. You can see us against Georgia Tech. Our women's program is 5-1. They took care of the Tigers last week at home, and they're off to a good season also. They're going to La Tech this weekend and then over to Mississippi State. So they've got two big games ahead of them. So if you get a chance over the holidays, they always have a holiday tournament between Christmas and New Year's. So if you have any interest in women's basketball, they'll be home over the holidays. I know you folks want to talk football, so I can tell you what I can, and that is from a coaching standpoint. I think what you always try to do in your situation like we're at is your timing is what's most important at this point. When we made a decision, coach made a decision halfway through the year. Our time is now to make a decision. We've got about a week between when recruiting really in earnest takes off. So I would anticipate that we'll be doing something fairly shortly. The team comes back from Hawaii this morning. Matter of fact, they landed this morning. So I would anticipate that in short order, a decision will be made there. An alumni asked me earlier about Tulane football and Tulane athletics in general. I've been at Tulane 25 years now, and are asking my thoughts of the program in general. And my overarching comment about Tulane athletics is this at the moment. In the 25 years I've been there, and that goes back to starting with Mac Brown when Mac Brown was here. I've been through a couple coaches and a couple athletic directors and now 2 presidents. I will tell you this, I am more confident in Tulane University and its interest in athletics and Tulane athletics going forward than I've ever been in my 25 years here. Certainly, the coaching decision that we've got to make currently is paramount. We're at a crossroads right now. We've obviously got to make a very hire here that's going to be a good fit and take us forward over a long period of time. As coach, he's a stalwart. I mean, there's no substitute for stability, and we need to get somebody right now who's going to stabilize the program and take us forward. I don't believe the cupboard's bare, even though our record's 2-9. I see a lot of fight in our kids right now, and I think we've got an opportunity. Along that lines, university-wise, I think for the first time in 25 years that I've been in Tulane, I have a president who's outwardly speaking about how important athletics is on campus, not just from an athletic standpoint, but in a university community standpoint. They look at athletics as extremely important to student life on campus, and that's why they've gone through this discussion of on-campus stadium. I can tell you that you'll probably hear an update on that very shortly. Our board meets on a quarterly basis, and I think there'll be more information coming in regards to where that thing is going. But I think you take the combination of opportunity with coaching, change, opportunity of a stadium, and if you look at stadiums around the country, how often you build a stadium? Tulane Stadium was built in 1926. I was thinking this morning as I was coming to here today, I said, how many stadiums have been built in the last 15 years. And there's only two that I can think of. One is at SMU, when they brought their program back in earnest, and the other one was University of Minnesota, and that was a state-funded stadium. So for the university, for Tulane University to consider building a stadium, let alone building a stadium, I think that goes a long way in saying where the commitment is with the university right now, with football and with athletics in general. Because you don't make a commitment over $50 million to $100 million unless you're serious about it, because it's going to be part of the university and what they stand for. So I think those are very encouraging things if you're a Tulane fan, but more importantly, as a New Orleanian, I think a healthy Tulane University, which it is right now, I think it's the healthiest school as a school has ever been. It's on firm financial ground. It's moving forward. It's part of this community, and certainly positive athletics at Tulane is not only great for Tulane University, but it's great for New Orleans in general. So I'm very encouraged about that. And one other thing is we have the Final Four coming this spring. I'm also involved with that from Tulane University's standpoint as a host. And that is the weekend of March 31st and the 2nd of April. There's a lot of opportunities for New Orleanians to be involved, whether as a volunteer, if you want to help out, or there's a lot of great events that will be happening with the Final Four during that week. There's a 3-day music concert downtown. There's the Fan Fest over here at the Convention Center. There's a kids dribble on Sunday afternoon. There's a lot of great events that surround the Final Four. It's not just basketball, 2 basketball games anymore. So please, as a New Orleanian or whatever, these events come to town very infrequently. You really have an opportunity to enjoy it, get out and participate. It's going to be a lot of fun. So at that point, I'll stop and take any questions.
I was just curious. Do you have to jump through any hoops to get the neighborhood to go along with the stadium after not having a stadium for how many years?
I'm sure there'll be some things that we'll have to do because we are in a residential neighborhood. But I think that when you get to the bottom line, it's good for the city. Not only good for the school, but good for the city, and I think those things will be able to be worked out wherever they might be. We're not talking about building. Old Tulane Stadium, as you probably well know, was a 90,000 seat stadium. We'll probably build a stadium maybe 1/3 of that size, whatever we can fit on our property at this point. But I think that all work. It all works.
What about the tickets for the Final Four? Is there any local tickets available for the Final Four, or you got to go to the university?
Good question. The question is tickets for the Final Four. There were tickets available locally to the Final Four. There was an open lottery system that was completed in May. So at this point, all the tickets have been sold. There are tickets available. I know if you go to the NCAA website, they use Prime Sport. That does packaging of tickets along with other things. There are tickets available in that manner, but it is a sold-out event as far as the tickets to the games are concerned.
I live in the Fontainebleau neighborhood uptown, so if you guys need anybody to work our organization, I'll volunteer for you. A lifelong LSU fan, I want to thank Tulane for being a great corporate citizen in our state, #1 private employer in our state. And those are non-polluting, high-paid, high-benefit jobs. So Louisiana's a better place because we have Tulane University.
What was your question? Sir.
One of my concerns is that I've been a Tulane fan all my life. And sadly, I don't attend the games anymore, right? We'll do so with a new stadium. My concern is that what is being done to promote amongst the students to attend the games? Basketball is right there when you go to an arena, and they're playing good ball, and the girls have always played good ball, and you don't see anybody in the stands.
Well, that's a good question, but I've been there a long time. Part of it is with football. Now, as great as the Superdome is, it is off campus, and people have to make an effort to go. And when you win, they'll do it, and when you don't, they'll find something else to do. That's 18 to 21-year-old kids. When we were really good at basketball, we had kids standing in line at 7 a.m. to get tickets to go to a basketball game that was a week away. I think winning and losing has a lot to do with it, but I will say this, and I think this main reason why a football stadium is being talked about. I think the administration understands how important athletics is to student life in general. Okay, that's the main reason that Tulane's talking about building its own stadium again, because they understand that it is part of the experience of going to college. It helps admissions, it helps everything that you do, helps alumni come back to campus. So I think they get the big picture, and I think that students will turn out. You know, obviously winning and losing has to do with it, but I think they'll turn out because it'll be the thing to do. Ironically, when we're talking about, somebody brought up TCU. Great example. As a matter of fact, I have a daughter who goes to TCU, along with another one who goes to Tulane. But same size school, same size campus. Their stadium was about the same size. If they're doubling their stadium size right now. It can be done. It can be done at a private school. But what is different at colleges, and high school is the same way, that's different than the pros. Pro football is that. It's professional football. The goal is to have 32 teams that are all that is homogenous. They're all the same. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. Schools are different. High schools are different. Colleges are different. Tulane wants to compete in athletics, but it will compete its own way. Okay, it's not a public institution. It's not going to compromise what Tulane University is. But saying that, I still think that we can be competitive in Division I athletics, and they're making the emphasis on it. Long answer to a short question.
The conference realignment talk seems to have died down from where it was 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. How big of a factor is that in the coaching search, the stadium plans, etc.?
Well, certainly with the advent of the BCS 10 years ago, that has been a spin-off, probably a negative effect of what the BCS has become. It has created a BCS versus non-BCS situation, and I don't believe that was ever the intention of the BCS. Certainly it plays into it. Certainly it makes a difference. Certainly, to a certain extent, given use Rich Rodriguez as an example, the difference between a BCS school and non-BCS school right now makes a difference. But that's not to say that things can't change. Whether, there's a lot of musical chairs going on out there right now, there's not to say that the BCS in general is not going to change over the next couple years. So, that it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think the things that we're doing is putting ourselves in an advantageous position to take advantage of some of those situations. You take a look at, go back to TCU and use their example. TCU doesn't have the success, and what most people don't realize, it's been 10 or 12 years of success. If they do not have that success, they're never in a position to look at the Big East like they did, and now in the Big 12 the way they've done. There are a lot of things to our advantage. We're in a great city. We're in a desirous city to come to. The Superdome's still here, so regardless of whatever kind of stadium Tulane attempts to build, the Superdome is always here. There are a lot of things that are advantageous for us, and we're just going to have to put our best foot forward and see where the chips are going to fall where they may. But it won't be our, it's not going to be our decision at this point. All we can do is make a resume and put it out there. Okay? Thank you so much for having me.